Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS. And today, we're going to be taking a look at some chiptune music with the 8-bit synth
miniBit.
Bang! So we're going to get retro, a bit of Commodore 64 sounds, yeah. We're going to do it all right about now. Hello, welcome to the show. Cheers. It's my first sip from the cup of coffee this morning. Merch available in the link below. You too can be an unt. I'm Jade. This is How to App on iOS. Well, every day we do a show, nearly every day. Sometimes we look at apps, sometimes we do stuff, interviews, and a whole lot of stuff. This week's a really interesting week because I'm wrapping up, mostly this week, my Songtember song. I know what you're saying, but September's finished. You should be finished by now, but no. Unfortunately, I'm not, because I do this all the time, and I don't have all the time in the world. So we'll be doing that. Thanks, Thomas, for putting the link. Yep, there is merch, T-shirts and unt mugs and unt T-shirts if you want to become an unt. And hello to our Wart Warriors. For $1 a month, you become a Wart Warrior and get custom emojis and stuff. And baby seals won't get clubbed to death. What am I saying? If you become a member. Man. I lost an hour's sleep thanks to daylight savings, and my brain is a mess. But then what's different, I hear you ask? Hello? Anything unt, I've got it. Exactly, Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Hello, Eddie Gannon. What's happening? We've got Kurt Kasprick. Hello, and E. Urban, and Greg O'Sullivan. Anyone else I've missed? I think I got you all. No, I can see there's more lurkers. Lurking away, lurkity lurk. Today we're taking a look at an 8-bit synth, and you're probably saying to me, but there's been a heap of 8-bit synths come out. Yes, but let me tell you this. There was an absolute shortage of 8-bit synths for many a year on iOS. All you could get for the longest time were the trackers. And trackers, if you know do you know what a tracker is? So it's a form of making 8-bit music from like Commodore 64 games, SNES games, but you can't actually load it into a DAW to use it to pull those wicked Commodore 64 16-bit sounds, because it's a tracker and it runs like its own kind of DAW. It's like sheet music MIDI. It's hard to explain. But there was lots of those, but there really weren't a lot of 16 and 8-bit synths, and now we're spoiled for them. And today we've got another really cool one to take a look at. Hi, Matthias. Okay, so let's get into today's show, because I've got a couple of surprises for you too before we play our featured artist that is pinned to the top of the chat, which is the Chandler Brothers' brand new Songtember song that they just released. I'll be playing a lot of Songtember songs coming up over the next few weeks as the featured artist. So we'll be playing the Chandler Brothers. Plus, I'm also going to give you a sneak peek of how my Songtember song is from a few days ago. Yeah, because everything's running a bit. I'm ahead a few days, but I'm only letting people hear things from a few days ago. So there's a surprise when it gets released this Thursday here on the channel. Hi, Ed Zielinski. What's going on? All right, so before we do that, let me just remind you what is happening, because it is a big week for my Songtember song. We've only got one app tutorial this week, and that's today. But for the rest of the week, we're doing some different stuff, and that's okay. We can do that here on this channel. I'm allowed to, you know what I'm saying? I'm allowed to change things up. So basically what's happening tomorrow is we're kicking off working on the music video for the song I'm doing, which we're going to do over the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Yeah. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss these shows, because this is going to be one of the most pro videos you've ever seen made on an iPad. I'm recording all the footage here in the studio. I have masks, I have costumes, hundreds of dollars of brand new costumes, blood, knives, there's everything. It is going to be insane. So tomorrow we're starting off by looking at the storyboard. We're going to be using Procreate to storyboard the whole video clip and get some ideas for how it's going to go. And then over the next 3 weeks, we'll be showing you the filming. There's gore. There's going to be lots of gore. It is going to be brutal. For those on Patreon, they've seen all of the costumes and stuff that is going to be involved. It's pretty slick. Then the day after that, we're going to be working on the album cover for the single using GoDaddy Studio and various other apps. Plus, we're going to be using Midjourney, the AI photo generator, which you'll see what I'm going to do with it. I'm not getting it to generate an image from scratch. I'm getting it to generate an image from one of my paintings. And we're going to see how that works, yeah, because there's a whole bunch of new features in Midjourney that you can use. You can upload your own photos and it will identify the photo and give you keywords to then use to generate an image from that. Very clever stuff that Midjourney's got into. And then, yes, my friends, it is happening on Thursday, US, UK time. I'll be uploading and letting you hear for the very first time the finished song, uploading it to DistroKid, running through my mastering, my mixing process, the vocals, all the stuff that you haven't seen me do on the channel because I've been keeping it all a little bit of a secret. But we'll play you a little bit of the song today, or maybe the whole thing from a few days ago, yeah? All right, let's oge over here to thebitcommunity.com, where they give you every day updates to things like iOS software, samples, expansion packs, desktop software, you name it, it's all here. Go and hit the link, go and hit thebitcommunity.com and save it to your favorites. So, New Rack from 4 Pockets, Chameleon from 4 Pockets on offer. Laplace by Iceworks. Nembrini has an absolute crap ton of their guitar apps on sale. Quantaloop, bunch of stuff. Let's have a look over here at the price drop. So as you can see, 4 Pockets, generous little saving there on their apps. And as you can see here, look at all these Nembrini apps. Boom, boom, boom. All Nembrini, all their guitar sim apps. They're all on sale, it looks like. If I go over the other page, look at them all. 8180. A lot of these I've covered on the show. Nearly everything. Ian Hardball, which is what I've used in my song. Yeah, so I use Ian Hardball all the time for my FMC stuff as well. Black Eye, Space Level. There's so many. Music Kraken's on sale as well. If you saw me do a crazy show on Music Kraken, making music by the camera and dancing around and tracking your body movements, that's on sale. It's had a huge update as well. It's like, what, $6.99? If you haven't seen that show, it's a wild one. Actually making music by blinking and moving your mouth. Pretty incredible stuff. But today we're looking at miniBit 8-bit synthesizer from AudioThing. It is $5. $4.99 US and UK. In Australia, that's $1 million because our dollar's worth crap. It is an 8-bit synthesizer. Yes, it is also available on PC, desktop, Mac, and it's on sale there as well too. So it's normally worth $20 for your Mac and your PC. It's on sale for $10 dues. And we're going to go through some sounds today, show you how to use it, and as usual, we're going to kick off by showing you something I made with it. And we're doing something a little bit different. So I made something last night before bed, completely in Logic. And look, it's a whole project. It's a whole project. Yeah, only $10 on desktop. So I don't know how long that lasts for, that sale. So here it is here, the little miniBit. Every track here is made with miniBit. So every sound that's in all, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 11 tracks, all made with miniBit. And let's play my idea of an 8-bit adventure game song. I'll shut up and hit play. What a load of fun that was to make. So yeah, nothing else used. All the MIDI just played in by me. And yeah, it probably took about, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Heaps of fun. Sounds great. Lots of cool, really cool sounds. We're going to dive in and have a look at how to use it. We're going to use AUM to have a look at it because it's just easier to show stuff in AUM. Let's load it up. So a miniBit, you can load it as an AUV3 or as an inter-app audio. It still comes with inter-app audio. Very simple interface, as you can see from here. Everything's nice and colourful. Everything's cute and colourful. We like that. So let me connect my keyboard. So straight off the bat, let's do this. Up in the top corner, when you click here, this is nice. I like this. I don't think I've seen this on any of the other AudioThing apps. And when you click there, you get a whole lot of links to all of their contact places: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Discord server, and their website. Nice little touch there, hidden away. You know, really cool. The first thing I want to show you is, so when you load it up for the first time, you get an init patch. If you don't know what an init patch is, it is the initial startup patch that you get when you open a synth. But for this one particularly, what I've noticed is it's not here in the list. So there's no init patch like that I can go back to if I want to go have a clean slate. So what we're going to do is we're going to save this. I do suggest doing this. Let's get off here. I'm going to hit save. So we've got a little save button. I'm going to put it in my little thing here and just going to call it start, because that makes sense, like a start button. It's 8-bit, blah, blah. Hit save. And now whenever I go into here and hit my category, there is my little start that I can come back to and have a nice, fresh sound to work from. There you go. So we're on our start patch. There you go. So the interesting thing about this too, it has a whole lot of little hidden things in there that on first look you wouldn't expect to be in there. And one of them is this little grid up here. So AudioThing apps are very similar from app to app. The layout, like here we've got our random delete button, we've got our save button, very similar, lock button. Everything's very similar across their apps, which makes it very familiar if you're using their apps. But over here is this little grid, this little waffle. And look at that, it's a sequencer. I've not seen one of these before in an AudioThing app. So you've got this cute little sequencer here. It's only a eight-step sequencer, but that's cool because you can really do some really cool things with it. But we'll come back to that. So that can be found up here. Your presets are up the top here. You've got a lot of presets, a really nice batch of presets. We'll go through some of these at the end. You already saw how I saved my preset, so very easy to save. Just hit the save button. Easy to delete a preset. Hit delete the garbage bin. You've got a randomization little flying over here. Here's our lock button. Now this is really good for randomization. So if you really like what you've got, you know, these three here, just say you've got these set like this and you want to keep them and you want to hit the random, you can hit lock and then just pick what you want to stay when you hit random. And you'll notice those three that are locked, nothing changes when I hit random. So, and to get out of that, you just click off the lock, click back on, and then uncheck those to get the lock off. Let's go back to our little startup menu. Boom, like so. Easy peasy beneasy. Here's our little settings section. So we've got global settings here. You've got a nice little volume boost. So you can bring everything up to 12 dB. That's nice. That's a nice little one. You can update custom waves. You can set update custom waves. So that's if you want to clear them out, right? But we'll get to those. We've got step sequencer steps. So here's where you decide how many steps you would like to choose. We'll come back to this one. You've got a pitch bend range, so you can decide your up and your down pitch bend range for your keyboard, where your pitch bend is. So you can decide how far up and down that it actually goes. Hello, Mr. Smith. We've got also a velocity here. So you can change the velocity from a soft, linear, or hard velocity. Nice. LFO range. Oops, let's get back over here. So you've got an LFO range, which can be normal or extended. So you get a wider LFO. These are normal. All these settings here you'll find in all AudioThing apps, yeah? So to lock all parameters, unlock all parameters, you can copy presets and paste them. So if you like a preset, you can go over here, copy to clipboard, and then paste to clipboard. Self-explanatory, yeah? Import user presets. So if one of your friends has made a preset and they want to email to you, well, you can receive that email and then hit import and drag that in from your Files app. Alternatively, if you have made a preset yourself, you can export a preset and then send that to your friend. Good stuff. There's a nice little online manual. We'll have a look at that quickly, see how juicy it is. Very simple, like all of their manuals to read. Not too complicated, nice diagrams. Everything's spelt out for you. And we like that. We like nice, good manuals. Let's come back over here. And that is what you see in there. You've got a little about section as well. You can turn this on and off here. So you've got a little on-off switch. We'll leave it on, of course. Okay, so let's start off with, we'll come back to, there's an LFO up the top here. We'll come back to that, much like the sequencer. We'll start with the envelope, yeah? So you've got your usual envelope for volume. So there's two envelopes that comes with this. You've got an envelope for volume. So if I hold down a note, if I lift up the attack, we get more of a pad. So your normal attack, decay, release. Wicked. But if you click this little button here, it changes to pitch. And you can change this up and get some really really wild sounds. Of course, very 8-bit. Damn cool. So you can flick between the, and for any of these knobs or anything, double click, they'll reset to their original property. Click up here, changes to volume. So there's your switch between the two. We'll leave it on volume at the moment. Good stuff. All right, so let's go down to our second tier. So we've got our second row, and we have a fine tune. Yep, fine tune. Then we've got our main tuning, which goes up an octave, 2 octaves, down 2 octaves, and lots of places in between. We've got our overall volume, and we have our oscillator. So we've got one oscillator here, and we've got this sub oscillator. So let's show you the oscillator because it's wicked. Really fun. And these are all the oscillators, all the options you get. So you get a triangle, you get a square, you get a pulse, you get another pulse, you got a saw. Nice little diagrams to let you know what they are as well. Sine wave. Voice. We have an E piano. Sounds very, what's that Sega game where there's like two of you and you ride those little creatures and you flick with your tail? What's that? Oh, I can't think of what it's called. It's not Altered Beast. It's, there's three. I can't think of what it's called. It's that very sound. I can't think of what it's called. My brain is mush, but it is a Sega game. So that is the E piano. You've got a guitar tone, oscillator. Wicked. You got a bell. Some strings. A transistor. And a duck. Plus matrix. A motor. Did I click the right one? Yeah, motor. So if you want to play old Atari 2600 games, a noise, obviously, for some drums. And you can shape that. You got another noise. Three noises, in fact. So very broad range of oscillators in there also, but here's where it gets really juicy because you've got 8 custom slots where you can make up your own oscillators. How fun! And when you click on one, you'll see the little square in the middle goes blank and you've got an editor underneath. And here's where you can draw in whatever you like. La, 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 la. Let's do like that. And down the bottom, you've got a little clear button, which resets it back to the start. You have a triangle to start with if you want, and then go from there. You got a square. You've got a saw. And nice, you got a little dice down here for random. Now, in the beta, I could get this to work, but I can't now. This little thing here would give me a Dropbox, but I don't know, in the final one, it's not working. But in my beta, it was working, so I don't know what that is. Maybe it'll get it fixed. But what you can do is if you like one of these sounds, you can actually copy it, jump out of here, go into this and move to number 2, hit editor, and then paste it in here. And then change it how you like. So if we jump out of here, you can now bounce between these 2 custom tones. But let me remind you of this. So if you start building up custom tones, they're not going to automatically just save in the background. You need to go in and save your sound. So let's just do that. And I'm going to hit the save button up at the top, and we'll call this show demo. Capitalize, of course. Hit save. And now if we bounce back over to my start and go into our customs, oh, it did keep them. Why did it do that? Well, that's weird. It didn't do it for me yesterday. I love working live. Maybe you don't need to. There you go, but you've got 8 of those to play around with. All right, so let's ode over to our sub oscillator, because this thing is wicked. So you've got a sub. We'll bring in, what do we do? We'll do a saw. And this is our sub oscillator here. So if we turn this up, really bring out that sub, that thickness. And you've got 3 options with this. You can go, let's click on here. You can go down 2 octaves, 1 octave or 0. Why would you choose 0? I'll show you in a minute. Let's go to the 2 octaves down. Can blend it in. Nice, but let's show you the 0, because you're just getting the same thing. It's kind of just doubling up. Well, if you use a bit of fine tune, then you get this chorusy kind of sound going on. So there you go. Wow, it's just started hammering down rain here. So that is your second oscillator, your sub oscillator. Cool. So you'll notice underneath there's a poly. So we're playing poly at the moment. If you don't know what poly is, it means I can play multiple notes together to play chords. But if I uncheck the poly, we are now in mono mode. So if I play 2 notes together, they won't. It only allows you to play 1 note at a time. And you've got a glide here as well. So let's turn up this glide. So there's your glide, plus you can turn on the poly and get some poly glide. Pretty good, pretty damn fine if you ask me. So yeah, that sub oscillator is a square as well, if you wanted to know. Damn, he's hammering down. All right, let's talk about our filter. So our filter is down the bottom here, and there's a little light, this little button down here. Let me show you. There it is. And this changes between low cut, high cut for your filter. So now we're on, let's change it to low. So pretty standard, nice filter. We've got some resonance for the filter. And we've got a delay next to that. You can sync the delay. So now you see when I change the time of the delay, it's sunk to the BPM of your project in your DAW. And it moves up by 1/8, you know, dotted fourths, all that kind of stuff. Your feedback for your delay and your wet signal. And if you turn off the sync, you've got more control. So you're not matched to the DAW. We'll leave it on. Let's turn off the delay. So nice little delay there. And finally in here, we've got a bitcrusher. So when this is turned up, it is at its highest bit rate of 16 bits. And when you turn it down, it gets filthy. It's fucked. It's destroyed. See you later, Mr. Smith. Hello, Rockin' Pneumonia. And you've got a down sample as well for crushing. Pretty decent stuff. All right, so let's talk about the LFO now. So the LFO is up the top here, and you've got multiple places to send this LFO. It's not a super extensive LFO, but what it does is really neat sounding, yeah? So you from here, you can sync this if you want. So you've got a little sync button if you want to sync it to your DAW or unsync it. You can send it to your pitch, your volume, cutoff, or even the crusher down the bottom, the down sample down here. So we'll start with the pitch. We'll give it a little bit of rate. We'll, give it a, there we go. You can choose the waveform. So you've got a bunch of waveforms to go with. So we're at the pitch now. So what are you thinking here? We've got a sine, triangle, ramp up, ramp down, square, and a sample and hold. Pretty standard LFO. We can send it to the volume. So you create that fake pumping sound. You can also send it to the cutoff. This is where it gets really cool, yeah? So, and of course, you have to bring your filter in a bit. So the opposite way for the high pass. Pretty sweet. And the last one is the down sample. Look what it does to this. Hello, Tremor Bear. So that is your LFOs. And as I said earlier, up here in the settings, you can ramp up the LFO range to extend it. Pretty cool. All right, let's turn off the LFO. Get rid of that. Go back to the standard, which is pitch. All right, let's take a look at the sequencer. So here's the sequencer. You can sequence the pitch, volume, cutoff, resonance, the waveform, very interesting stuff with that, the rate, the sample rate, and the glide. So lots of stuff you can do in here. Now, the way to activate it is you would turn on the pitch. Now, if I hit a note, what I'll do just for this example is we'll connect the on-screen keyboard. Yeah. And we'll bring that up so I don't have to hold down any notes. We'll just... because you have to hold down notes for it to actually activate, right? Let's stop. What am I doing wrong here? Hang on a minute. What is happening? Let me turn off this keyboard. I've done something stupid here. Sequence of steps. It's like it's crashed or something. I can't access any menu stuff. Oh, there it is. There we go. Now we're rocking. But well, that's odd. Hang on a minute. Give me a sec. What have I done? Connect my keyboard. So you can see when I hold down a note, it's just going straight to the end. Oh, it's because I've got it set to... So there, what a dickhead. I had it set to bar. Man, forgive me, it's early. So up the top here, you can control how you want this to move. So we can go to like a 16th. So I'm just holding down a note, yeah, just so you can see what I'm doing here. We can change to an 8th, quarter, half. I had it set to a bar. Okay, and to change, you can go up 2 octaves and down 2 octaves. So let's do that. Let's go up 2 octaves, and we'll take this one down an octave to 12. Now, Got some delay on there, which I probably don't need. Let's take that out of there. So you get the idea. Plus, so we'll look at the next one. So you've got volume in here as well. So you can change these volumes down if you want. So we can go like this. And all I'm doing is dragging on the little box here to change the volumes and just dragging up and down. You can also mess with the cutoff. Get some really cool sounds. You can go for the resonance as well. Let's just do some randoms. Put this one up to really high. But this is where it gets really fun. You can add in the waveform, and you can go in here and change all the waveforms, whatever you want. Let's go through this guitar one. This one will go up to like a bell, or matrix, and we'll add a noise at the end, yeah? And you can see the oscillator changing with it. Hello, Leela. You can also change the sample rate, so you can get in and automate this down sample over here. Let's go with some crazy sampling. And last but not least, you can also sequence the glide. Let's do some really big glides. Hey, Sean Chandler, what's happening? So pretty damn cool. Nice little little sequencer in there, which was very unexpected. When I first was beta testing this, I didn't even notice this for the first like 5 times I opened it. It was like, no, what the hell is that up there? So if you go into the settings here and you go to sequencer steps, here's where you can change it. So if you might want to change it to something like 3. And now when we go back here, you still see 8. But when you hit play, it only moves 3. Okay, so let's go in and add back 8 steps here. Oops. Bring back 8. And let me cover these. So with each of these, you'll notice there's a die at the end. So you can 1, 2, 3, 4. You can randomize the shit out of all of this. Total control, really wicked. And as you saw at the beginning of the show, I used this in Logic, no problem. Was able to use sequences in there just by holding down my note. And it records everything beautifully. No crashing, no stuff like that. I've used it in Logic, in AUM. As I said, I was on the beta. And it's running sweet and sexy. So that is pretty much it in a nutshell. It sounded pretty decent. And for $5, I reckon you can't go wrong. So, I mean, if you are like me and a total addict when it comes to retro sounds, a nice little thing to have in your collection, along with the beautiful sounds of SNES Synth and the other one by the Sega Synth as well. And the other one, I forget what that's called. God. It's something, retro synth or something like that. Hello, Chad. What's happening? All right, so as promised, so there you go. That's it. I think I've covered all the bits inside there. And yeah, easy to... Oh, let's go through some presets. I better go through some presets. Right, we'll probably have to give this a little bit of volume. So we've got bass sounds, we've got drum sounds, keys, leads, pads, sequences, sound effects, synths, and the chiptune orchestra, which is wicked. Let me just give this a little bit of gain here. Oops. So I don't have to. There we go. So those are your bass sounds. We've got drums. Keys. So lots of nice places to start off your sounds with and then build on top if you want to work like that. I think this one's using the sequencer. Nice. Another one with a sequencer. So this one's only sequencing the actual the oscillator. You can see it there sequencing. Shall we throw a little bit of some fancy stuff on here? Yeah. We got some leads. Pads. Let's have a listen to some of the sequences. So there's a heap of sequences in here. got some sound effects. Some synths. Maybe. And my favorite is this last one, the Chiptune orchestras. Just give them a bit of volume. That one's a bit loud. Cello. Why are you not working cello? So some of these are sequenced. It's one of my faves. Anyway, lots of sounds to start with to build your own stuff, and it sounds really neat. I think I made something in here yesterday. Let's open a session. I think this was the demo I was going to start the show with, I think. Is it? Ah, yes. Bounce Bud. So there you go. There is the wonderful mini bit from from AudioThing. Hey Pete, what's going on? Hello. All right. So as I promised, so we got our featured artist coming up. I'm going to play that in a second, but I did promise at the start of the show I would give you a little bit of a listen to my Song Timber project that's getting closer and closer to you hearing the finished thing. So this was from a few days ago. Let's open up this one from a few days ago and show you. Maybe you'll hear some of the changes in it, but it's sounding pretty beefy. So as you can see here, like the drums have all been separated. Whoop, there we go. All the drums have been separated and they're all in a summing stack. There's new bass in here, so I've played all the bass, removed the original MIDI bass and played all my own bass in here. We've got all our brass, there's a whole lot of sections in the middle that are brand new, completely brand new. One thing I will show you that happened to this song, if you remember, there was a BPM change in the middle of the song. I removed that because it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So, and it's much better now. So the finished version of this song has a whole lot more in it that you're going to love. And today I'll be working on vocals and tidying up some of the other bits which are not in this version. So this only goes for 3 minutes, so indulge me. I'll play this through. It's sounding pretty fat. Like, this is a fairly good mix at the moment. So we'll give it a play. I'll shut up and you can have a listen. This is the Dread Circus from Utensils, one of my side projects. Let's make sure the volume's up and hit play. There's Oj. Sounding wild. I don't know if you heard the new bits in there, but listen to this. This bit. Go Chili Peppers. Well, that took me a while to put in there yesterday to write all that bit. That was a new bit that came in yesterday. So anyway, there's our song. It's coming along really, really slick. We're super happy. When I say we, I say me and all of the instruments that I have had to play for this. So, as I said, earlier at the start of the show, please come and join me tomorrow because even though the song's not finished and we're releasing it on Thursday this week, tomorrow on the show, hello, Ivan Idea and Robbie Stingle. And who else do I see who's here? Polvolt, what's going on? Thank you, Ivan. It's sounding Mr. Bungle, yeah? All right, so tomorrow, even though the song's not finished, but tomorrow on the show, we're starting writing the storyboard for the video clip. And trust me, guys, you're not going to want to miss these shows on making this a video clip. I'm just going to say it. This is going to be a video clip that you're going to love. It's going to be very pro. I have bones, severed hands, crazy characters that you won't believe for this shoot. This dude from the film Terrifier, Art the Clown, is actually in the video clip as well. Toxic Avenger will be in the clip. I have so many costumes and gadgets and blood and stuff. This is going to be a wild, wild video clip. If you thought the Metheus clip was crazy, this thing is going to be absolutely insane. The day after tomorrow, so tomorrow we're working on the storyboard using Procreate. The day after, we are working on the album cover using GoDaddy, and I'm going to be taking one of my images from, because the song's called The Dread Circus, which is my main band, and this is for my project Utensils, I'm actually going to be taking the album cover from the first Dread Circus album, this is something I drew with crayons. This is the original artwork. I'm going to be putting this into an AI and generating something, well, not like that, like this. It's going to be wild. So come and join me for that show. And then wrapping up the rest of the week, the final show of the week, we're going to be releasing this song through DistroKid on Thursday. It's going to be sick. It's going to be sick. So I'm going to run through the finished song, the mastering, the mixing, everything that's been added since you saw like the version of it from ages ago. And yeah, we're going to release it. And then we start off, continue on all the way through October to finish this massive undertaking of this video clip, which is probably going to put me in a fucking grave. But it's all worth it because music is awesome. Yeah. All right, so let's go out with today's featured artist. Thank you all for hanging out with us today. And we looked at, just to let you know, we looked at the amazing 8-bit synthesizer miniBit by AudioThing. It is $4.99. If you'd like to grab it, go grab it. Support our amazing developers who make these great apps. Today's featured artist is the Chandler Brothers. This is their Songtember song. I was lucky enough, as usual, to get to master this song. I've got to master a whole bunch of cool people's songs during Songtember, including our main moderator, Thomas Christ. Yeah, awesome. All right, so this is the Chandler Brothers, and this is their Songtember song called Misunderstood. Pete Johns is up next. I'll do a dump over there so you can go hang out with Pete and check out what he's doing on GarageBand Weekly in about, 45 minutes time. I'll be back tomorrow, usual time. I know it's a bit of a fuck up with the daylight savings and stuff, but it is what it is. It's a little bit earlier for you in the US and the UK. Let's do this, man. This is the Chandler Brothers and Misunderstood. Do the things that make you happy, mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Boom.
feels this way. Walking down a crowded street, I'm wondering to myself, am I the only one that feels this way? Keep on shuffling the feet, keep on moving on, out of my way, because I'm moving on. I just misunderstood, it's burning inside my head. Keeps on burning. I tried to be all I could, where I'm going and where I've been. Where I've been. Oh yeah. We'll all rise together, 'cause you make me shine better.